Pretty soon you'll start to feel that the rolling pin is rolling on the guide boards. When your rolling pin touches the guide boards, you know that it's even and flat. You can hear the wooden rolling pin make a sound on the wooden guide boards. It lets you know it's time. All right. Rolling is complete. Now I'm going to use my tracers to cut out pieces of clay. I'm going to do my side first. I place it down on the clay. Then I take my fettling knife and I hold my fettling knife straight up and down on the clay like this. Careful not to turn your hand one way or the other, because then you will get an angled cut. I slide the knife towards me, keeping my other hand out of the way. It's important to keep your other hand out of the way so you don't cut yourself. Always slice towards you. You can rotate your clay so that your next cut will be towards you. Cut, rotate. Cut, rotate. Now I'm doing my last cut. All right, I peel up my tracer, and then I peel the excess clay away from the one that I cut out. And you'll see I have a perfect rectangular slab of clay. It's even and flat. I'm joining two sides today, so with the remaining clay, I'm going to cut out another side. This is why I have them labeled so you don't grab the wrong one. Take your slide tracer, put it on, and remember to hold that fettling knife straight. Cut towards you, and turn. I only need to turn it twice to make a cut. And cut towards you. Take the remaining clay away. Peel up your tracer. And you see, I have another side. Look how smooth that cut is, and flat. You've just learned how to wedge your clay, roll it out flat, and cut using a tracer. Next, we're going to learn how to join our clay together. Now, if I took a piece of clay and another piece of clay and simply laid them on top of each other like this, what do you think would happen when it bakes in the kiln? Well, that clay is not attached. It's going to break right off. And you wouldn't want your hard work project to break, would you? So we need to attach our corners securely using the scratch and slip method. What I like to do is use a tool that is pointed. This rib has a pointed edge. Listen to that. This is a pointed edge on your rib. It will scratch your clay up when you drag it across. This is a needle tool. It scratches your clay when you move your hand across it. You can use whichever you have at home. Sometimes an old fork works well too. I see that I'm going to attach it here, so I make a little line to tell myself where I'm going to attach it. And then I'm going to use the end of this to attach right like this. See there? So, I know I need to scratch it here. Let's use the scoring rib. I press it into my clay to make scratchy parts right here. You can also use your needle tool and really scratch that surface up. This is going to make it sort of like Velcro, so both scratched parts link together and it's harder to pull them apart. Now it's time to scratch where I made my other line. Scratch it up. See how I drag it across the clay to make scratches? The more scratches you make, the securer your bond will be. That's called scratching or scoring. I've scored both places where I need to attach them. Next, I'm going to use slip. We talked about slip earlier. It's the pudding textured clay. Slip is sort of like clay glue. Take some, you can use a spoon or your finger or another tool, I'm going to use my finger, and put it on the places which you have scratched up. Alright, I've used my slip. Now I'm ready to connect these pieces. I'm going to stand them up as they will be when they are a box. And I'm going to put them together right where I've scratched and slipped. Boop. Push it together. You might see the slip bubble out a little bit. That's perfectly fine. Push them lightly together. And then, since your connection right here is a little rough still, you need to take a smoothing rib or your finger and smooth it out. To use a rib, you put it against your clay and drag it. When you drag it across the clay, it smooths the clay out. Your finger acts the same. As I drag my finger across the clay, it becomes smoother. Watch how smooth that gets. And you have a bonded piece of clay that will become a box. Alright, so you've learned how to roll out slabs, cut using a tracer, and attach slabs together. That's it for our demo today. Thank you for joining me.